A Wine Education Council, which is a nonprofit organization that provides higher education to people in the wine trade. And today we're doing a very large champagne tasting. We're really looking at champagne through a very contemporary viewpoint, looking at ideas of terroir, looking at a lot of issues that are happening now that are really new to the Champagne region. A lot of the best somms and tradespeople, in the Los Angeles area and beyond, in fact, are here today. And so I think this is going to be a really special event. Champagne is a more diverse wine than it's ever been. There are many more producers available to us, including very small grower estates and smaller houses. This makes Champagne a much more complex appellation than it was in the past. So, in effect, there's a lot more to learn about Champagne today than there was 50 years ago, or even 20 years ago. So, as a sommelier or as a retailer, or for me as a wine critic, it's actually a vast subject. And it's no longer, this sort of like 2 pages in the World Atlas of Wine, that you can gloss over. It's actually, Champagne is actually an entire world in itself within the world of wine. And I think that with a tasting like this, we can see that. That's what's stimulating a lot of renewed interest in Champagne. Large tastings like this, especially that are academically focused in this way, are fairly rare, even in the industry. As a sommelier or as a retailer today, there is a greater thirst for knowledge than ever before, but there's not necessarily access to the sort of information that people are looking for. So I think important function, or the Wine Education Council provides opportunities that maybe people don't necessarily have, would necessarily be able to participate in.
That was amazing. Also, having the opportunity of tasting all of these different wines next to one another, especially the tête de cuvées, is a really special experience. And Peter has so much education and so much love and understanding of this region overall that it was a really valuable experience.
I think tasting wine in a setting where you're not trying something one-off in a vacuum really helps you judge quality, helps you judge varietal, helps you judge vintage, helps you judge terroir. It's so educational. It's so much more than that you can get from just reading about a vintage or reading about wine.
I think it's most valuable to a somm or a buyer. Most somms, most decision makers that decide to put something on a list, they rarely have the opportunity to try more than 2 or 3 wines at a time, and to make a decision what would be best suited for their list, price point, value, quality, all of these variations, and what would be best suited for their cuisine. So this is the best kind of environment for to experience that.
We talk about 3 grape varieties, Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Meunier. We talk about blending. We talk about the art of blending and the art of champagne creation, long aging on its lees. What we don't really talk about, or what we haven't talked about until recently, is the idea that, like any other fine wine, Champagne is a wine of terroir, and Champagne really derives its identity from the place that it's grown. And so there's a lot about that that's unexplored. And so in today's tasting, we get to see growers from different areas. We get to see wines that are much more focused in their expression of terroir than historical blends, region-wide blends. It's a sort of broad overview of what's going on in Champagne today.